Hi, welcome into this USA Funding Applications Review, where I, Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, will be uncovering the hard, exposed truths about this online grant program and how you can get access to as many grants you can apply for so you can finally start that new business of yours, grow it, expand it, and even get out of that tight pinch. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with content like this on the channel, not only on grants, talking about EIDL, PPP funding, employee retention credits, restaurant revitalization fund, any other bills, any other private lending options, building business credit, and everything. So if you have not subscribed, I would greatly appreciate you if you did, and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. Let's get right into this. You're looking at the home page, and I'm going to go through the top to the bottom and show you the process of how this works. But before I do that, let me answer the question on your mind. Is this program legitimate? Yes, it is, and I'll be showing you some of these things, why, and why it may be the best solution for you and why it may not be. Now, it says here applications are now available. Each year, billions of dollars are awarded to individuals and businesses in the form of grants and other types of funding, and that's an obvious if you've been around the space for some time. Apply for your piece today. So let's get started. Select your type of funding. You would select one of these options or more so business, personal, community, education, or real estate, and it'll give you a systemized process depending on what you answer. So each person will be different. You'll get a different set of grants and so forth. So here's how it works in these three simple steps. USA Funding Applications is an online grant application system. So think about it like an online marketplace. If you've heard me talk about private lenders, and how are there these online marketplaces where you just create an account or you start the process by answering a set of questions, and then it will give you a customized offer or so forth, depending on what you answered. So it is like this in a similar way where it will connect you with these grant programs. And it is legitimate, seems to be that way, as they've been around for 13 plus years. One thing I do want to say, though, is the owner is hiding his identity, his or her identity on who is because they may not want to get spammed. It doesn't necessarily mean they are not legitimate and this is a scam. That's not what this is. It just could be that they are just not wanting to get spammed, not wanting to show who they really are. And usually those who don't show that get less of an authority online, and you see less popular quote unquote reviews, but that's not to demean and say that they are not legitimate. So that gives you access to free money applications from over 20,000 sources. So just imagine that. Being able in less than a few minutes, tapping into seeing all these grant programs you can go and apply to, which increases the odds that you will get approved for one or many. And then you get to decide what you want to do. And so now that you have the funding within your hands, you're able to start that new business, being able to grow it, expand it, get out of that tight pinch, and finally be able to move forward because other options may have not worked for you. You've exhausted them. I know how tiring it can be as a business owner, getting funding for your own business, let alone trying to help you understand how all of this works. So register, easy to fill out, your information is secure. Number two, you research. We provide the application sources and teach you how to go about applying. Number three, you apply for these grants that you're then shown to. There's no limit on the number of grants you can apply for. Here are what people are saying. It is simple and easy to use. The wording is great and understandable by Karen. We have, hey, I recommend everybody to these services because you can get whatever you need to know about personal assistance. Denise, it was easy to understand it. Didn't seem like a hassle at all to answer anything that was asked. Sandra, and I'll show you possibly a little bit more, but if not, you see them all right there on the screen, especially like the fact that USA Funding has a variety of fields to choose from and so forth. So where does the money come from? You're possibly asking yourself. So I'm going to read off of this here so you have it word for word so you really have a better understanding. I do. I've gone through this. So it's a documented fact that billions of dollars in free money are donated every year by American corporate giving programs, foundations, and other charitable institutions, individuals, and other agencies. We read daily about gigantic, I was going to say gigmatic for some reason, not even a word, gigantic sums of funding being given to businesses and individuals just like yourself to help them fulfill their goals and their dreams of what you want to do in your own business and what you want to accomplish as the outcome. But oftentimes these people will not tell you how or where they get this funding. In order to know how and where to tap into these vast treasures, don't sit around and hope you hear it through the grapevine. Find out yourself with the help of USA Funding Applications. Many funding opportunities are awarded for projects and businesses for general operating expenses and other capital, such as new building or major pieces of equipment. Sometimes you can also include inventory, salaries, labor, advertising, marketing, etc. Also remember that most funding is not available for personal expenses or paying off the debt, but there are other assistance programs out there to help you out for your situation. And if I haven't said this already, I'll have a document down below for all of the latest and greatest grant programs. So make sure you check that out, get it, you can save it, download it, and so forth, but hold on to it. Groups to help low-income residents in Silicon Valley get $934,000, Philadelphia Business Journal. Funding remains center stage by Dallas Business Journal. You see a few more there by Yahoo Finance and TMC Net. Here are the funding categories you'll have access to with over 20,000 applications to apply to. So you have first-time home buyer. There are 542 applications, and I'll click through one of these in a moment through the business. Business, 11,230 applications, that can grow over time. Community assistance, over 11,000. Demographic, over 10,000. Education, 5,000 plus. Home improvement, 900 and above. Housing, 2,000 and above. Inventions, 290. Miscellaneous, 10,000 plus. Nonprofit, 4,000 plus. Personal assistance, 14,000 plus. And then real estate applications, 945 added plus on top of that. We recently added the following number of applications. You can see how much is being added over the course of time. Last 7 days, 271 new. Last 30 days, 1,000 plus. Last 90 days, 3,000. So it's increasingly doubling and tripling, quadrupling over the time. So it's a good benefit to you knowing that you're going to get some of the latest ones that are out there. You get your piece of the funding pie. Don't worry about your present financial situation. Funding applications do not require collateral, credit checks, security deposits, or co-signers. So this is similar. This is what you would see if you go through a private funding route. In case you're not wanting to get a grant, it doesn't work for you, because let's be honest, not a lot of people will get a grant. Even if there's an influx amount of people that need them, they're not necessarily easy to get. You still have to put a story, you still have to go through certain stuff, you're competing with other people. So you may have something that looks attractive to you, but it may not work. You may find out that you do have the qualifications, you go and apply, and then you just find out you're going to. So the best benefit is to always apply to multiple grants at the same time, but don't keep your option only limited to that. That's why there are private options where I can show you how to get up to 2 million, up to 25,000 same day instant approval, up to 5,000 self-employed funding without credit checks, without needing a business checking account. You can just use your personal account for business. But then there are other ones where you need a business account to get funding. So I'll leave all those options for you down below, EIDL alternatives and everything, the latest and greatest. Make sure to check that out as well. Very quickly, I have this business questionnaire form where you can complete it and get a personalized and customized email response for your best funding option and options. Plus, you'll get a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. So in less than 30 seconds, you can realistically get this done if you have everything in there. About us, some of the services I offer, a lot more. Just put a handful of them there. The key benefits, and then how it works more or less. And it'll look like this. It could change over time, but it'll be down below in the description. It should say something like business questionnaire form, business loan contact form, or similar. Make sure to check that out if you haven't. This will be the fastest way for me to assess what you can qualify for. And this is a very in-depth email you will get back in return. So you're not wasting days, weeks, months, and even years of sifting through old, outdated information, going through these online marketplaces that really don't show you the clear picture, where I will, as your business loan broker / agent who's helped out people of all industries, of all magnitudes, with startups, non-startups, more established, millions per month, billions per year, etc. Depends. It doesn't matter which one you're at. I can help you understand what you need and what best funding options are available. So that'll be down below in the description. So start the application process now. Don't wait. Grant application services. In order for us to pay, you're probably wondering, what is the catch? There is no catch here, except that there is part of this like fee you'd want to pay up front. And that's where a lot of people think about this as being a con. So you have to pay to play in some cases. There are other programs out there like the Skip program with Ryder. That's another one that I'll try to leave more information down below where you can get grant services as well. But this is going to be, in order for us to pay for the expense we have incurred compiling this information and advertising it on the web, we are forced to charge a small $29.95 to cover our bare costs. So very commonly, this is what you'll see when they go out there and advertise, the way they go out there to earn their money, this is how they have to set it up. The information also comes with a guarantee. I'll go into the terms and services in a moment. If you apply for funding using one of the applications you find, on our website and you don't receive funding, your membership fees will be refunded to you immediately. And a lot of people are discouraged by this. They're thinking, well, this is going to attract a lot of people who are just desperate for money, or this is going to be people who want money. You're asking them to pay a fee. Well, this is what's common. You pay to play in a lot of cases, especially with a membership. They keep you up to date and so forth. So that's what you see there. All you have to do is provide us with the name of the funding opportunity you applied for and a copy of the rejection letter you received from the funder. With your membership fee, you will have access to the applications and online training information through our members only site. So it's good stuff on the background. You can also cancel your membership at any time. How serious are you? Are you like most people and needed the money yesterday? If so, get registered today. Don't procrastinate, which is very true. USA Funding Applications is here to help you get the info you need today, not next year. Change your future in 2022 and moving forward when you see this video. If free funding to start a new business, expand your business, or complete a worthwhile project would change your life and benefit you for the rest of your life, what are you waiting for? Get registered today. We can help you find and apply for the money you need to change your life forever. We are funding seeking specialists. Begin the process, sign up today. You see that there. So let's click one of these options and then we'll check it out. So business, 11,230. So this is what you'll see once you click that. Step 1 of 3, tell us about you and your funding needs. So you'll want to fill this out. Go in there. See, mine's kind of populated already there. And zip, city, state, gender, which type of funding are you interested in? So similarly to what we saw on the last page, you want to select business, you want the business one, but if you selected a different one, make sure you do that correct one. Suggested subcategories, check all that apply, what you're looking for, specifically how to use funds for what specific industry as well, see transportation, training, farming, agriculture, marketing, machinery, etc. How much are you going to need? Select, describe what you will use the money for. What unique things would separate you from applicants applying for this money? So that's a very common thing when you're getting a grant. That's what they want to see. And you have to have a demonstrated purpose for what you will use the money for. So similarly to like an EIDL loan for pandemic relief, not necessarily is it going to be used or all of it used for growth and expansion. They want to see, are you struggling, or are you just getting started and this is what your vision is, what you plan, and this is how you are gonna. So what I would do is break it down specifically, like step for step, when you're writing what you will use the money for, and think about it logically, like if you were creating a business plan, but be more deliberate with it, with more intent, more purpose, and not just hoping that this will work. What unique things would separate you from other applications or other applicants as well applying for this money? So also think about your epiphany script, your backstories, bring it from there, and then talk about how you got to where you are today. What made you get to the business you are running right now or currently will be running, and so forth. What email address would you like to use for your username for your online grant application? I usually recommend that you have a professional email address. So with Workspace or anywhere else you can get one, like your name at the domain name you use. It's always great to have a website for these things, but if you don't, you can still apply for it in that case. That still can go through. Yes, I want to receive emails on new funding opportunities as well as new tips, and then you can submit it there and you're finished. So you'd go through some of those steps there, 1 of 3, as you can see, but you'd go through the process, and I won't cover all of that, but you'll see how it lays itself out from there. So now let me backspace here. If you were to click there, similarly, it would bring you to the same page, so you can select whichever one you needed. And then we'll go into the terms and conditions. So you'll always want to read this, but I'll go over it with you. Read these terms of use agreement before accessing the website. So very common at the top. I'll skip over that part. Description of service. USA grant applications is providing members with a web-based resource center for members only. Members must provide 1, all the equipment necessary for their own internet connection, including computer and modem, and 2, provide for members access to the internet, and 3, pay for any fees related with such connection. Web-based membership terms of service. We also have a guarantee. If you apply for funding, we already talked about what that entails. Refund it to you immediately. All you have to do is provide us with the name of the funding opportunity you applied for and a copy of the rejection letter you received from the funding from the funder. by mail or email. No refunds will be given for membership fees after 30 days of the date of the last transaction unless you provide the documentation of your application and your denial letter. So there's those contingencies. So make sure you understand that, as I said right there. But let me read it over again so you have clarity. No refunds will be given for membership fees after 30 days of the date of the last transaction unless you provide the documentation of your application and your denial letter. By placing your order, you authorize USA grant applications to charge your credit card the above described fees, disclaimer, warranties, limitation of liability, third-party sites, disclaimers, compliances, and just the standard of what you're going to see. Now, let me come back to this and make sure I covered everything. And we are ending this video. Okay, so I showed you a good amount of reviews, and I'll leave it at that. I know they are always hard to come by, but these are legitimate. They're there. What people are saying about USA funding applications and just how you can get started and plugged into many different grant programs. An alternative to this one would be the skip grant programs with Ryder. He has also a membership fee. Sometimes you can get it access for free for a limited amount of views, and then you have to pay to get in, which is very standard and it's very trustworthy and it's very understanding at the end of the day, because you're getting plugged in and you're getting always kept up to date with the latest and greatest. What other people are not getting, you will be. So if you want to check those out, look for it down below in the description, as well as my alternative programs. Oh, which I want to get into, just some quick grant programs if you're wondering. There are some out there. There's this grant program here that I'll leave more information to down below. It's one of the most current ones. So if you're watching this video and it's a little bit later, it may not be available, but it may be there for you to check out. So now Connected Choice, Connected Confidence, Connected Clarity, Connected Capital is more than a lending network. They're a community. I have this like new HP computer, so I have like a new lighting screen. So there's like a little ring around it that you may not see, but I can, and it's kind of like interrupting some of the words. But it's okay. I'm still trying to figure out the new stuff on the computer. So you can get what you need to grow. We made it all be different, uncomplicated, no pressure process. So here's one you can go through. I think I covered that one there. That's through, let's see, more of the Hispanic community. And then driving small businesses forward with this program here. Let me move this lighting around. So it might get dark a little bit. Do apologize for that. So Hello Alice is another one you have, a grant program supporting Hispanic entrepreneurs in partnership. This is the Hispanic program with Progressive Commercial Insurance. You can see there. The Driving Small Business Fund Forward Fund will provide $25,000 to 10 small businesses toward the purchase of a commercial vehicle to accelerate their business. Now accepting applications. And I'll leave this as a part of the documentation for all the latest and greatest grant opportunities. And we just went over that one. And let me go back under the share screen. I believe I exited out of that. Apologize for that. So we have, I'm going to wait for this one to move up. There we go. I have a screen that you can't see there. We have D-Prize. Are you aspiring an entrepreneur that can help alleviate extreme poverty? D-Prize wants to award you up to $20,000 in seed capital to start a new organization that addresses poverty challenges. So that is for that side of the equation. Can you design a new business or NGO that delivers a proven property intervention at scale? And then there are more of them that I'll leave for you down below in the description. But that'll conclude everything in this video. Let me bring up the HP enhanced lighting that I still have to figure out with this new computer. But that is going to conclude everything for this USA funding applications review. I showed you what it entails, how it's been around for 13 plus years, how the owner is not disclosing his identity. It could be because he doesn't want to get spammed. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not legitimate of a program. What can be some other grant programs to show you what are some alternatives to USA funding applications through SKIP, what you can do for other types of funding sources aside from grants, the documentation and everything there on out, the questionnaire form. If you haven't gone started with that, that's what I would highly recommend. This is the fastest way to get a hold of me. And all information I'll leave for you down below in the description. For any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to voice them for me. If you got value out of this, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, such as it could be a complete stranger friends and family so you feel will get value out of this. And if you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos that will be coming out with. That is all for today. Thanks. Bye.